Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TeacherCast podcast, coming to you live from the birthplace of Rocky Balboa in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with your host, Jeff Bradbury.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the TeacherCast App Spotlight. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and you are listening to the TeacherCast Educational Broadcasting Network. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. There's, of course, several ways that you can contact us and participate in every week's show. We like it when you follow us on TeacherCast. Leave us a voicemail at teachercast.net/voicemail. Email us at info@teachercast.net, or, of course, subscribe to our audio and video channels at teachercast.net/iTunes. and teachercast.net/YouTube. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a great summer, and thank you again for joining us. Today, we have a great show for us featuring a safety app, an app that's going to allow you to safely communicate to your students and your parents through SMX, text messaging, and that service is called Remind101, and we have the founder and creator of Remind101 on today, Mr. Brett Kopf. Brett, how are you today? Welcome to TeacherCast.
Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Talk to us a little bit about Remind101.
Yeah, sure. Remind101 makes it incredibly simple for teachers to reach students and parents on mobile phones. So teachers can sign up in less than 2 minutes on an iPhone app, an Android app, or the website and start messaging their students and sending them text messaging in a safe way.
And is this something that a school district has to, invest a lot of time in, or is this something that is quickly and easily done?
Yeah, so we built Remind101 from the ground up and talking to teachers. So the entire product is built actually for teachers, not school administrations or school districts. So a teacher can literally pick up their iPhone app, their Android app, or log on to the website at Remind101.com and just sign up and start going. It's just very, very simple. Everything is meant to be incredibly simple and easy.
Now, we're showing the website right now. Again, it's Remind101.com, and if you're looking to reach out to them, they're very, very social media friendly over at Remind101 on Twitter. And basically, and you can talk us through this, Brett, Remind101 allows us to do one-way text message communication to our students. How do we set this up? How does this work?
Yeah, so it's very simple. The teacher can sign up. Let's use the website as an example. The teacher can sign up on the website, and when they create an account, we give every teacher a unique code and a number. So let's say I sign up on an account, and my code is, my phone number is 555-555-5555. So that's a unique Remind101 phone number that we assign every teacher. The teacher then literally has to turn to the students or parents and say, students or parents, take out your phone and text this code to this number. And once the students and parents do that, they'll be opted in to receive all the messages. And the key thing is that a teacher never sees a student's number and a student never sees the teacher's number. And then Remind101 also tracks the messaging history. So we're very, very concerned about safety and privacy for teachers, students, and parents. So once the students and parents opt in, the teachers can just sign on anytime they want on the mobile apps or the website and type any message they want. So when they hit the send button, it will instantly distribute out as a broadcast text message to all the students and parents, and they cannot respond back. And again, that's a safety precaution we've built in.
And it's a system I'm noticing that people are using all around. I mean, people are completely twittering about it constantly, about how great Remind101 is. We're constantly seeing people say how easy it is to set up. Would you be able to take us through a little demonstration of how it works on the desktop version, and then maybe we'll talk about how it works on the mobile version?
Yeah, I'm happy to. And one thing I should say, feel free to follow us. We're at twitter.com/Remind101. And it's very important to us to engage and talk to teachers all the time. That's really bred into the DNA of our company because that's the only way we can build products and get better. So sure, let me share my screen with you really quick. Okay, Jeff, so here's what Remind101 looks like on the desktop version that we built 100% for teachers. I'm going to walk through it very quickly. On the left side of the screen, teachers can add up to 10 different classes. And in this case, my classes are Intro to Stats, Earth Science, and another class I called Math 53. And then teachers can easily add a new class by just clicking that link. But I don't have to get into that right now because it's very simple. So right now I'm in the Math 53 class. And in the middle of the screen, you'll see the message feed. So in this box right here, I can type any message I want, like don't forget to study. And you see that it's going to Math 53. So we built a few really cool features. For example, if you click this plus button, you could send a message to all of the classes at once. So on average, a teacher usually has more than one single class, so the message will instantly go out to all of those. But for simplicity purposes, I'm only going to send it to Math 53. One of the other features teachers really like is schedule for later. So they can come in, pre-schedule it for a week, 2 weeks, a month advance, maybe even a year advance, and Remind101 will just remember to send that message out. And lastly, immediately after they send the message, we have a messaging history here that we make impossible to delete. So again, this is a safety precaution. And we added a few cool features in where you can tweet the message. So if I press that little tweet button, Remind101 automatically takes the content in the message field, and it makes it very easy to just send out as a tweet. And that, again, is something that we heard from teachers that they wanted to be able to message students and parents safely over Twitter. So I'm going to do an actual example here. I'm going to say, don't forget to study. Sorry if I'm waking you up early. We have some of our employees subscribe to this feed. So you can see the subscribers are right here. So Ben, who's one of our developers, there's myself, Christine, who runs all of our community and support. So all of these people are subscribed. So I'm going to send this message, and Remind101 actually remembers to say, isn't 6:39 a.m. a little bit too early? And if it's not, in this case, I'm going to send it. And any of the students and parents subscribed will receive that message within 10 to 15 seconds. So again, it's very simple. And lastly, the way that you get, there we go, I just got it on my mobile phone. So the way you get students and parents to sign up is very simple. All you have to do is click this view button, and we have a simple code and a number to bring up, which is what I spoke about before. So we always recommend that teachers actually take out their own phones and try to text into the code. And so in this case, my phone number would be 415-03-9031. So as a teacher, I take out my phone and actually opt in, so I would see the messages that students and parents get. But if you're in your classroom right now, a lot of teachers pull this up on a Promethean board or literally write it down on a chalkboard. And for students, it's very simple because they send text messages all the time. You know, like the average student sends over 3,999 text messages a month. So this is pretty simple for them. So that's a quick overview of the desktop. The last feature I'll show you is this cool print feature we built. I don't know, can you still see the PDF that I have in front of you? In case you can't, it's a simple PDF.
Yes. So we'll cut that part there and then just start with, hey, here's a simple PDF or something.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So here's a simple PDF that we actually customize for you. So we have your unique phone number and your unique code, and we'll do this for every one of your class. And this also shows how students or parents can subscribe to receive email alerts. And again, this is customized for every individual teacher and every individual class. And often, teachers will actually print this out and physically give it to the students to bring home, and or give it to the students to bring to the parents. And in the bottom, we have a little message saying why it's safe. So that's a quick overview of Remind101 dashboard. Always feel free to email us at contact@remind101.com, or again, send us a tweet, twitter.com/remind101. We're very active on social media, and we love interacting with teachers.
Now, Brett, there was a tweet that went out from your Twitter account this morning, actually, that actually asked teachers, are they prepared for the coming year on the Remind101 account? Could you show us how we can either roll over or how we can update our Remind101 as the new school year approaches?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to toggle back to the website right now. Just want to make sure that you can still see it. Mm-hmm. So one of the things you can do to get ready for your next school year is probably have to delete all of your old subscribers from last school year. So in this view over here, you see all of the subscribers show up, and actually when they subscribed and what device they subscribed by. So some of them just subscribe via text messaging, and some of them subscribe via email. So you can individually go in there one by one and actually delete these students or parents. So I'm going to remove Rex, who actually built our entire iPhone app, and it asks me if I'm sure if I want to delete them, and I did. Or if I wanted, I can remove all of them. And it will ask me to confirm, no, I'm not going to do this because we actually use this specific account to send messaging alerts just to see if the product is working the way we want it to. But if I pressed OK, it would remove everyone from the account. So that's definitely the first and most important thing you should do so you don't message your students from last year. And the second thing you should do is definitely the first time students come in or the first time you have parent-teacher conferences is click this view button and have the students and parents opt in. Or you can, again, send home this printable PDF.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that scheduled. I know there's a lot of teachers out there that are using that schedule to their advantage. I even know of some teachers who, even now during the summertime, are scheduling their reminders for November and December, say they had like an orchestra concert or something, in my case, they're already sending out their text messages scheduled for the dates of the concerts and the dates of their rehearsals. That's a pretty neat feature that you guys have there.
Yeah, Jeff, everything we do in our company is built around solving problems for teachers and is built around making sure that their lives are easier and more efficient. And so one of the big demands and requests that they had was the ability to come in and pre-schedule these messages so that when they're actually in the thick of it, if they have a concert coming up in November or if they have to teach a class, they don't have to worry about sending a message. And so it's very simple. They could just come in here, click schedule for later, and let's say I want to send a message September 4th at 9 a.m. We'll give the subscribers a break. Any message I type here that says study, once I schedule it, it will show up in the schedule feed, and you see it switched tabs here. Now, one of the nice things we did, we allow you to edit only scheduled messages. So let's say I decide that I actually want to change the content of that message that says study for this quiz. I can come in and do that. But again, I want to repeat, you can only do that for scheduled messages. You cannot do that for sent messages. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that right now. Press OK. And just to reiterate what I just said, you can only delete or edit scheduled messages. You cannot do that to sent messages. So I can never delete this. And for that matter, no one can ever delete it. We keep a running archive history of everything always.
And of course, one of the other neat features I wanted to point out here is, again, that you can send one message to more than one class. So if you have 3 math classes, you're going to want to obviously organize them by class, but you might still say, hey, we have a test tomorrow. And instead of having to do that 3 times, you can do that to one big, huge group, right?
That's exactly right. So yeah, our average teacher has over 3 classes. And often what they'll do is if you're a math teacher, they'll have, a math intro 1, statistics, maybe a stats 2 class, but then they'll also be a coach. And so they'll use it for their softball or if they're a football coach. So they usually have 3 to 4, maybe even 5 or 6 classes on there, which is why they like coming here and clicking schedule for later, adding it all at once, typing the message, and then letting it just send out to everyone subscribe. So again, simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. Everything is built around making the teachers' lives easier.
Now, Brad, I got to tell you a good story here. Last year, we had a concert that was scheduled around the holiday season, and right about 2 hours before we were supposed to have 150 orchestra kids show up to play, the power went out in the community. Well, Instead of having to call 150 students, I literally sat there on my phone, made one text message using Remind101, and I was good to go. Everybody got the message, the parents got the message, the kids got the message, and it saved me so much time and aggravation all through using Remind101. It is a great system.
Yeah, that's Jeff. Awesome use case. Everything, you're probably tired of me saying this, everything we do is built around making the teachers more efficient. And that was actually one of the specific use cases. When we started the company, teachers would tell us, well, it's really frustrating because I have to talk to all these parents every few weeks, but I have to call every one of them one by one. And on average, every teacher probably has 30, maybe 50 parents that they have to communicate with. And so this allows them to keep the touch points very high in an extremely simple way. And so we figured out how to help teachers engage the parents in a very meaningful way quickly.
Now, you guys also recently updated your mobile app. Could you take us through a demonstration of that?
I would be happy to. Let me switch over. Okay, Jeff, so this is a quick snapshot of our new iPhone app that we just released yesterday, so I'm thrilled to announce that. This is 100% built for teachers. It's been a few months in the making. It's redesigned. It's much simpler, and it has all the features that you guys have been requesting and love. So let me explain it really quick. We have a simple class list view right here. And so you can see I have the same classes that I did on the website. So this syncs with the website. If you signed up there, it will still work on your iPhone app. So I have Intro to Stats, Math 53, and Earth Science. So I'm going to quickly walk through and show you how to add a new class. All I do is click Add a Class. I'll call this Stats 303. And I'll click Add. Sorry. And then this part is really awesome. So Remind101 will pop up specific subscribing instructions and shows teachers how to actually subscribe to their class. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click the mobile phone with my finger, and a text messaging bubble is going to pop up like that. So it already fills it out for you. Because remember how I said before, it's important that you actually subscribe to your own class. So instead of you having to take out your text messaging app and type in the phone number and type in the code, we do it for you. So all you have to do as a teacher is hit the send button, and we'll automatically subscribe you to your class, which is really exciting. And within a few seconds, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, I'll get a response back thanking me to subscribe. So while we wait for that, I'm going to scroll back to the list view. There we go. So that was the class that I just subscribed for. It says, thanks, Brett Kopf. As a member of Stats 330, you'll receive all of Mr. Kopf's notifications. So if I scroll down and I look in Stats 303, we'll see that I'm a subscriber here. So I'm going to click in a subscriber tab in the bottom right, and it shows that Brett Kopf is a subscriber. So I just subscribed myself, and I'm going to try to type a message. So we'll go back into Stats 303. I'll start typing a message, and this is a very simple messaging composer. So I'm going to say, study. When I hit the send button, it will distribute to me and any other student subscribed to that. So just to show you how it looks when there's multiple people subscribed, so I'm going to go back into my Math 53 class where I have many subscribers. So you can see all of the subscribers right here on the right. And then you can see all the messages here that you ever sent, the time, who it was sent to, and the specific class. And you can even see if you scheduled any messages. So again, I could go in here. I could type any message I want. 140 characters. I can schedule it for later. So let's say I want to send it on Tuesday, and it actually tells me the date and the time that it's scheduling. Now, I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to wake up all of our employees because it's still 6:50 in the morning. But that's a quick synopsis. To finish this off, on the top of the screen where it says your Remind101 phone number, we always have your teacher's custom phone number and the specific class code. And then something really cool that we built in is this toggle feature where you can go into your specific account, so you can change any of your account settings. And we also built in an awesome sharing feature, so you can click this, spread the word, and share Remind101 via text message with other teachers. You could share it via email if you wanted to, and it automatically pops up in a composer, so now you can share Remind101 if you love the product with other teachers. So we're pretty excited about this because teachers have really been asking for an easier way to share Remind101 with fellow teachers. So that's a quick overview of the app. We think you'll really like it. And again, we're very open to feedback, so feel free to email us at contact@remind101.com, or better yet, send a tweet to twitter.com/remind101.
Brett, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to join us today on TeacherCast. Obviously, Remind101 is a free tool that every single school district and really every single classroom teacher can take advantage of and use. And I just want to say one more time, Remind101.com is your place for this year's new technology. Everyone, of course, always asks, what do you recommend for communication? Remind101 is it. Brett, what would you say to anybody who's kind of on the fence of, should we be using text messaging? Is it safe? Should I want to communicate with my parents and teachers that way? What would you say to them in closing?
Yeah, so it's incredibly safe. It's very simple, and everything's built for the teacher. But instead of me actually telling you that, feel free to tweet us, and we'll retweet it, and we'll let the thousands of teachers that use us every day tell you that themselves. Because it's really found to be very effective in the classroom, and safety and privacy is the #1 priority for our entire company. So feel free to send us a tweet, and we're happy to have you talk to other teachers to prove it to you.
Nice. Well, my friends, that wraps up another episode of the TeacherCast App Spotlight. We want to thank again Brett and Remind101 for coming on the show. You can, of course, reach us here at TeacherCast at TeacherCast on Twitter. Follow us on teachercast.net/iTunes and /YouTube for our great iTunes and YouTube subscribe channels. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and you've been listening to TeacherCast. Check us out next time on our show, and until that time, keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.